Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this model from Zbrush into Mari and then bring the textures back again. So I can do some playing with them, experimenting with them. Okay, this model is not done yet. It's not ready for me to actually do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So up in here, I happen to know it's sitting around the 300,000 mark for polys. And Mari seems to be able to handle that. It's nice and smooth, so I'm going to take it out. And I'm going to go and do a quick export. And let's just do this as the body number 3. Okay, great. Save. And I'm going to flip into Mari. And for Mari, we're going to get a new project going. Okay. And the other thing we really got to worry about here, we can give it a name and stuff like that, but not too worried about that. Just zip in here. I'm going to move this over here. And where am I looking? G drive. And if I look down here and I go into my Maya projects and I find the Eva Green, I look at the scenes and I find number 3. Great. And I don't care about any of this other stuff. I'll be fine. Just wait for it to load up. Actually, one other thing I might bring over just because it helps. If I look and I switch to the eyes, if you hold down Alt, you can select the eyes. And what does this tell me? The eyes are sitting around 50,000, so I just had to expand that to get to it. So that's pretty light. So I'm just going to bring that over too. Let's hit export eyes. Just to show you how to do a couple different things in Mari. So we'll flip back to Mari. There's my body. Got to flip my hotkeys around. Okay, great. And I'm just going to bring in the eyes as well. If you go in here and you find the objects menu, boop. Okay, I like having floating menus, so I had to pull it over. And in here you can, where's the little button? Is it this one? Add object. And then over there, eyes 2, open. It's going to take a second. Oh. No. Okay. Okay, so my eyes are probably in here. Okay, great. So I've got eyes as well. Oh, I forgot one thing. When I'm up here and I right-click on this bar, and that's when I can get into the objects here. And I want to make sure that my Eva Green body is the thing that's selected. And I'll even use my select tool and make sure that the body is selected. Okay. And I'm just really going to concentrate on the face on this one, and I'm pretty sure I laid out my UVs on this. Okay, and I only used one Udemy space, really. Nothing special. Okay, I could do a better job of laying my UVs, but I'm not going to worry about that again too much right now. And what else do I have to worry about? Shaders. So I'll switch shaders. And this is the AI standard, but it's not the current Arnold shader. It's the standard, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. As we're texture painting, you'll find it doesn't matter too much. Okay, and channels, we got a diffuse channel that's sitting at 1K. For this full body, I'm going to make a 4K, and I'll make it a middle gray. And I'm just going to take that diffuse up there, delete it, and I'll take this one, give it a double click, and call this diff. Okay. And so now I have a new channel on it, a new texture. Okay, remember your hotkeys, one goes to my side here, and I might just go just straight to the ortho. I hit 1. Actually, you know what? No, I should do this so you can see what the hell I'm doing. Okay, I could have made those UVs bigger for the head, but whatever. And over here off camera, I've got a bunch of pictures, and I'm just going to select them. And if I go in here and I hold down this and shift, and I drag them, oh, I don't want to drag them yet. Don't get too eager. I've got to go and open up the image manager. Okay, and drop them on. Okay, and these are some pictures I bought from 3D SK a long time ago. And does that have a good side shot? I guess I've only got one side shot I can pick from here, eh? So instead of one, let's pick two. Okay, and I'm just going to drag this picture in. Bloop. Dragging it in. It's thinking. Sometimes I've noticed that when I'm recording and I'm doing these videos at the same time, I have issues. Okay, there we go. Doot, 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 doot. And I'm just going to put this right around here. It's not the same person, evidently. And maybe I'll try to rotate that a little bit just so I know that ear will be closer. It's still not perfect. Okay, I'm kind of centralizing it and everything, and then, yeah, it's not going to work totally perfect, but whatever, that's okay. Because remember, this is supposed to be Eva Green, but I'm using these textures because I know they're really good. And now I can go over here and I can start to paint, but when I paint, nothing's happening, so what did I miss? We're on the base. Maybe I'll make a new thing here. Why is it not picking it up on the layer? So when I'm painting, I get nothing. So normal. I selected the model. Paint through is on. And what the hell am I missing? Oh, I didn't hook up the texture. So if I go back to the channel, or if I go to the shader, diffuse color is not hooked up to diff. So when I paint, there we go. Okay, great. And what is it? My microphone is sitting on my Wacom, so I'm just going to have to do this with a mouse. Okay, and here I can hit R, make my mouse bigger. And I'll just push down a bunch of this. And okay, I'm not going to do the whole body. It's going to take too long. But I get to about here, and now I can switch. And what do I have? I've got things like I've got a lattice tool. So I can take the lattice and I'll stretch out a big lattice portion here. Okay, if I need more lattice points, I can just hit the plus and hit the minus. And I can clear it. Okay, boop. So I'm just going to hit plus once. I don't want to have too many of these lattice points in here. And you can kind of stretch this around and you can kind of get a better fit. And this still isn't going to work. I'll just eyeball it for now. Say that's okay. Okay. It's close. Okay, close. Okay, great. That's good enough. That's close. You'll see over here when I'm in this viewport, you can see over in the other viewport, you can see I'm just getting half a texture up here. So when I move over here, I'm just getting half. If I look in the projection section, it's because it's on front only. I'm going to go through. Now it goes to both sides. So I get two sides at once. And that works really well for the side view, not for the front or the 3/4, but from the side. So this gives you a lot of texture really quickly. Then I'm going to do is switch to the slurp tool. Slurp tool, what a freaking name. Anyway, if I go in here, I can just kind of push these around. Okay, push the texture around a little bit. And, you know, you could work with smaller portions of the face and your life will be a little bit easier, but I'm trying to do a big portion to do a sweeping, quick tutorial. And the slurp works best when you just do little pushes. Okay, if you slurp too much, it'll stretch your texture. And these ones around the edge don't really matter so much anymore anyway. Oh, and actually undo. The shading is throwing me off a little bit. I'm just going to go over here and I'll put this on to flat shade so I can see what the hell I'm looking at. I'm just going to make my tool a bit bigger. Come on. I got Zbrush hotkeys now. Okay, and remember the ones around the edges really don't count that much. Okay, and let's go back to the shaded version. And for some reason I undid too many. I hit Control Z just a few times, but it undid like 20 little moves. Okay, but I call that good enough for now. And that works better that way. Okay, the eyes look okay, everything looks okay. And And I'm just going to hit B and bake it. And that's set up in my... I have to wait a second. It's high poly, so there's a, what is it, bake behavior. I have it on clear only, so it cleared it out. And now if I rotate around, you see it's baked through from one side to the other. Okay, and let's go to the front view. There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those change. Oh, you bastard! Let's change your cameras. Okay, and here I'm just going to move in closer so you can see what the texture looks like here. And what I might do is, let's go to the layers and I'll create a fresh layer because I got it on this layer. I could name that and everything like that. Again, I'm trying to go relatively quickly, so I'm not going to be very organized. And let's get here and let's just go just a bit closer. And I'll pop this one in. Okay, and let's just zoom out. Whoop. And I keep ZBrush hotkeys, Maya hotkeys. Good God, I've got too many hotkeys in my hands. Also remember too, if you want to, your opacity can be changed. And if you're using the, what is it, Shift minus? Shift minus will make it so that it isn't quite so solid. And I just screwed up because I went and I rotated it. Let's rotate it back. And I'm just going to try to figure out where the eyes are, something like that. And the lips are right there. Then if I scale it and I put my cursor right here, okay, that should be pretty close. I don't really care about the ears at all. I'm going to have to do the ears separately and do some more work on them. But this should be pretty good. And I might pull up my lattice again. Oh, and I can't do the lattice because I haven't actually rubbed them on. So I'm going to go about here, and everything's set up. Okay, great. And I'll rub this on. Now when I'm texturing it, I can see I've got a few problems. Okay, I got problems. I can see over here it's going in and putting it through on both sides. So I go back here, through, change that to front. Okay, so it only does the front. And now I can go ahead and I'll get my lattice out and we'll see if I can stretch this around. Say there. And actually that looks pretty good. I could make her completely bald. What time are we at? 12-minute mark. Okay, I'm trying to go fast. Trying to match up the eyelids here. And I could project this and rub this on a few different times and put it onto different layers. It makes my life easier if I do that, but I'm trying to do this all in one go. So there you go. That's what I'm doing. Okay, great. And that's down there. And then if I go and I take my lattice and I hit clear, that's good. Let's go and put another lattice in right around here. Okay, fine, my lattice isn't going to let me do that. Okay, what's wrong with me? Toggle grid. And if I do this... Okay, fine. I'm just going to go and get the slurp tool, and I'll slurp this. I'll do combinations of the two. There's got to be a way. Why didn't the lattice tool do that for me? Okay, let's do the slurp tool first. Something I haven't actually thought about it because I'd actually break this up and do this a few different times in reality. Okay, the front of the, or the sides of the nose don't really matter too much. Okay, because really the sides are taken up with the other shot. The ZBrush hotkeys kicking in again. Okay, great. And anything else I want to do in here? Let's just move my brush a bit smaller. I can see the chin here. I'm going to pick it up here a little bit. And again, I could spend a lot more time on this. And the front of the nose is just going to look bad. Yep. It's also because this obviously doesn't match the character exactly. Okay, trying to go quick. Okay, great. And I'm gonna say this is good. I'm just gonna hit B and I'm gonna bake it. Oh crap. Hold on a second, the lip was off. It looks like it's already baked. Whatever. I can do more, but I'll say it's good enough for now. And now, let's take a look at what I got. You can kind of see these definite lines here where some of the texture worked and some of it didn't. I could potentially go in here and use the erase tool on some of these things, but what I'm going to do here, just for fun, is let's go make a mask. So on the second layer here, and what time am I at? 50 minutes. Okay, so if I take this and I right click, I get a masking here, layer mask, and it says add mask, and I'm going to do a reveal all. So that means it's going to be totally white. You can see it's selected right here. Okay, and it's right down here on my menu. I guess I could pull that down further. And there's another little thing right here. Lets me... Oh, you bastard! Switch this to black and white. Okay, cool. Okay, so it's going to paint white right now. This thing here switches between black and white. You'll also find that on your keyboard X will do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm painting my mask. If I come in here and I start painting black, and why isn't the black picking up? I am on the slurp tool. That's why. I've got to switch over here to the paint tool. And there, when I'm painting black, you'll start to see parts of this start to hide. Okay, there is an erase tool, but I think I've done that in a previous video. Okay, and I could pick something with a softer edge for this too. We're going to say this is fine for right now. Actually, maybe I will do it. I'll go over to the shelf. And I find I like organic brushes. And what's my favorite one? My favorite one is velvet. And right there, velvet. Velvet Touch. Is that what it says? Velvet Touch? No, it doesn't tell me what it is. Anyway, I'm just going to make that smaller. You see as I paint. Okay, and I could... It starts to make some of these parts disappear. And again, I could get something a little bit softer and use that too. Okay. And I can also go up here and use it in this view. If I hit B for bake while I'm here, you might notice when I'm looking in this view that in the UVs here, it gets me a bit heavy-handed, so I can get rid of some of that. And that's blending in fairly well. Okay, side to front. I might have to put another layer on here and fix that thing that I just made right there. But okay, I just like this one right here. So again, I can paint that in afterwards, and I'll hit B, and I'll bake that. It's just black and white, so if I want to, if I made a mistake right in here and I'm not happy with that, if I just go ahead and I hit X, now I can painting white, and I can paint it back. Okay, and I don't destroy anything. X, and maybe I'll get rid of some of this. Okay, I'll hit B and I'll bake that in. And I'm going to move over to the other side. Okay. And again, I'm painting with a mouse right now, so this kind of sucks. Also, too, if you're not really sure if you're getting everything while you're doing this, there's a little eyeball right here. This one, view only the current mask. So when I do that, bloop, it just shows me the mask that I'm painting. Okay, so I kind of got a rough idea what's going on with just the mask. Hit that one and everything goes back to normal. And we'll say that's good enough. Actually, you can see all the stretching along here I gotta fix. And sometimes it helps if I go back here to the straight color so I can see, oh yeah, there's definitely problems along here. And I'm going to hit B and I'm going to bake that. Then I'll go over here to this one. And again, probably could put this in a bit softer. Okay, and We'll say that's good right there. It's actually not really good. I still need to do a ton of work to this. But yeah, I've gotten into a ballpark here. And sometimes I also like to do this where I'll get like a good 3/4 shot. And the 3/4 shot, if I go to the image manager, what do I have? I got that one. We'll do this and I'll create a fresh layer. And I'll take this and drop it in here. And I look and I go, okay, she's not really lined up with that picture. Find the eyeball, kind of put the eyeball there, and I'll hold down Control Shift and I'll scale this up. And there, we'll say something like that. We got the paint through brush on. We're on a new layer. Just gonna go in here and I'll paint this over these edges here. Look at that, I get the eyebrows. This texture here is probably the most important one. You can do so much with a 3/4 shot. Anyway, I'll say it's good enough right there. Hit B and I'll bake it. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Didn't mean to bake it. Just hold on a second. I just want to go over here and maybe use a little bit of the slurp tool on this. Am I allowed to move this around still? I am. Okay, good. Just do a little bit of slurping. Slurping, what a name. Okay, but okay, and also too, remember that while it's in the paint buffer, that's when you can use the erase here. Okay, so the erase will work when you're in the paint buffer. So I can go and erase all these things that are potential mistakes, anything that's stretching too much, I can get rid of them around the edges. But it is kind of destructive. Okay, I prefer to mask. So anyway, I'm going to hit B and I'm going to bake that down. And I have a better eyebrow. Anyway, I could spend a bit more time on this. I'm going to stop right around here because it's 22-minute mark. Okay, but you get the idea, I hope. I put them all into layers. And then I can take this image and I can, right over here, I can right click and I can export flattened. Export all layers flattened. And I'm going to put this into my what do I have it? I have a Maya Projects folder, great, and I'm working on this Eva Green thing. Okay, and it says the channel in the Udom here is coming in as a TIFF. I can maybe change that to something else. Formats. To get back into ZBrush, it's easier if I use JPEG or a PSD. Anyway, I'll just do this and I'll call it like face test. Okay, and it's going to give me all the channel and Udom stuff, and I'll hit export all patches. And I'm just going to pause for a second while I'm making sure everything's lined up while it's exporting. Okay, and I just tested it out. It works. So now I'm going to go back into ZBrush, and I could have done some of the stuff in ZBrush with the spotlight. Oh, now I've got freaking Mari hotkeys while I'm going in here. I'm going to go into texture and I'm going to hit import, and right here, actually, where the hell am I? Penny Dreadful. And it still came out as a freaking TIFF when it came out, didn't it? Okay, just hold on a second, I gotta convert. Okay, for some reason I had to save it a couple times and then boom, it came in. I don't know what, it didn't save out properly. But here, I brought it into ZBrush, and now if I flip it vertically, so I just went down there, texture, and I hit this flip V button, and then it's over here, and if I go zipping over into texture map, I can go and put this on. And right now I've got the eyeballs selected, so that doesn't do me any good. So I gotta do this one, texture, on. Okay, and maybe the material I have on isn't the best. I always like the skin shade. And whoop, so you got this, it's on here. Just gonna go up to my subdivision levels, and I think I'll go up another one. I can use this to help me kind of sculpt if I want to, and I'm trying to do this fast, but if I take this texture and I move it, make alpha, so it's up here, And then if I go, let's close down a texture map, I'm going to go into layers, create a new layer. And I'm going to go into displacement map, and now because I made that thing into an alpha, it pops in over here, and I can play with the intensity. A little goes a long way, and I'm going to hit apply disk map, and that's going to make something really obnoxious. And then I can go and take this into layers, and I can dial down the layer. Let's drop it down by half. Okay, and I can use this to help me kind of sculpt my model. Okay, so that's what I like this for, is it helps get some extra details and things like that if I want to. But there it is, I've flipped from Zbrush into Mari and then back again, because Mari has better layers and stuff like that, and this needs a lot more work. But there you go, I'm going to stop right here.